Previously on Untitled Ambition Season 2, Cece broke away from the horde of zombies and went to meet the true mastermind of this floor boss alone, discovering some hidden history and a hidden connection between her and this creepy clown kid. Be careful, Cece, sweetheart. Can't trust him. Can't trust him whatsoever.
Some years ago, this happened.
My goodness. This was Dr. Ainsworth's unfinished model. It looks almost lifelike. This doesn't make any sense. The more I uncover about this guy, the more I grow to despise him. How on earth did he create a humanoid model, while the rest of Avalon's top scientists are still using the android and crash dummy models? This is unacceptable. There's no way a mere, back alley doctor has a better scientific solution than Avalon's elite. Inconceivable. I need a way to dispose of him, but how? Yes, I got it. It's about time I put that dark matter from the meteor site I discovered into good use. I'm going to show Avalon and the Queen that I'm the true genius here. Not Ainsworth.
And so, I was stolen from my father before he had the chance to fix the bugs in my algorithm. I don't understand. What's going on? Where am I? Who are you? What do you want with me?
I'm thoroughly impressed. A model with such an advanced AI is truly commendable. I'd just love to hear what the royal family would say, once I present you before them.
You're not my creator. You're clearly a thieving opportunist trying to climb the ladder. So unless you want to be exposed publicly, I highly recommend returning me to my creator and this family at once.
Your creator abandoned you, son. To him, you were flawed and left to be discarded. I, on the other hand, found and turned your so-called flaw into an asset.
Asset? How?
First, let me give your creator a bit of credit. Of all the robot models inhabiting Avalon, you're the first model to possess a human appearance. Quite an astonishing feature, I admit. Your design, blueprint and algorithm will serve as the basis for something spectacular. Don't you feel honored?
No. If anything, I feel downright exploited. I just want to return home to my creator and leave this creepy place. When I do, I'll be sure to tell Dr. Ainsworth everything about your schemes.
Then, it's a good thing I installed that dark matter chip inside of you.
And so, that's how my descent into the darkness began.
Simon implanted the dark matter microchip into Dr. Ainsworth's invention in hopes to control and manipulate him to do evil, and to sabotage his good name if it ever came down to it. But as time progressed, he decided to put him in a clown design to make it indistinguishable from the stolen thing that went missing. Nobody could ever suspect that this new AI model was designed to be a clown-faced assassin for the higher-ups. Nobody ever saw it.
So, that's what happened. He installed a dark matter microchip inside of you and designed your face to be a clown out of spite. If you knew all of this, why did you still follow his orders? I'd assume signs of resentment would have shown.
Cecilia, that would have been too easy. I plan my vengeance far more subtle than most humans. But rest assured, I despise that man far more than you'll ever know. You have to understand the one true benefit of wearing a mask. You get to play a mean game of pretend with those around you.
Explain.
Very well. Simon was always cautious of me and often feared me regaining my memories and exacting vengeance against him. Your father's algorithm always created a system restore point, no matter what. I only lost my memory for a moment after Simon tinkered with my system. Afterwards, I just simply played my role and waited for the perfect time to strike. That time came with the creation of Codename Vita. All it took was a simple handshake.
Greetings. You must be the infamous clown-faced assassin the higher-ups told me about. It's a pleasure to fight beside someone as strong as you.
Well, I must say, word definitely travels fast around these parts. You must be Lady Aria's replacement. You certainly match the description.
Why, thank you. I don't know what to say. It definitely means a lot coming from a legendary figure like yourself.
Stop. I'm nothing special. These Avalon nobles only hire me for the jobs they'd never dirty their delicate little hands for. They want to remain as white-collar as possible.
But that's still a spectacular role to play. You're practically Avalon's justice from the shadows. The face evildoers dread to see. You're depicted as the walking embodiment of vengeance.
Walking vengeance. Never thought of it the way before. I'm definitely certainly you'll make both Avalon and the royal family proud to have you. You'll be of exceptional value to our girls. The poor girl never realized just how much that handshake impacted her.
So, the real reason why Beta killed Simon that day was because of you.
Precisely. I implanted a sample of dark energy into her algorithm and commanded her to eliminate Simon when he least expected it. I wanted the face of Simon's murderer to the one he expected the least to betray him. His very own ward. It was quite the stellar performance, don't you think? The actors all played their roles perfectly without knowing that I was the puppeteer behind it all.
Dude, that's beyond twisted. I know I wanted revenge on Simon, but that's beyond traumatizing.
Is it really? I also have an interesting proposal you may want to consider. Care to hear it?
While CC was negotiating the absurd terms with this robot, we were stuck dealing with these really no longer challenging hordes of zombies that just kept respawning thanks to anti-spur. When will it end? It was just like, wow, they weren't even hard, they were just tedious to deal with. Talk about ad nauseum. Just how many of these trash zombies are you going to summon? You and I both know full well that this isn't enough to stop us.
Oh, I know completely. The goal isn't to stop you, it's to tire, frustrate, and slow you down. Well, at least until Codename Psy finishes breaking your little friend Cece. It's a crying shame she wasn't there when our forces came to recruit John Doe for our invasion. With them both being Avalon exiles and all, I believe this vessel and her would have gotten along quite well.
Hey, I know your type. She's nothing like you creatures of darkness. Cece walks with us now. It's about time we end this and uncover who and what you really are. Fidelia, sweetheart, use Lambda's call button and summon her. I believe we've entertained these imposters long enough.
Finally. A perfect moment for us to use this.
Immediately, Lambda was summoned to the scene and this happened.
I've arrived here as promised. What can I assist your team with?
Hey, twin. We need a favor. Can you use your powers to reveal the identity of these imposters? They look like entities we know, but they're a bit off.
Identity, you say? There's nothing to reveal. They're not even real threats. Observe.
Wait, no! Don't give it away just yet!
One great reveal later.
Yeah, that was pretty obvious in hindsight.
Yeah, figures. That was the only plausible explanation.
So we really were just surrounded by crash dummies this whole time. That's crazy. But I don't understand. Why are you still the same? Have you really been brought back?
Yes and no. This is definitely a crash dummy model my essence is inhabiting, therefore it's nothing long term. This vessel can't even hold a tenth of the power I once had, and I was only brought back temporarily using Codename Psy's dark energy. You might say I'm a dungeon boss demoted to a mere floor enemy. It's pretty tragic in all honesty.
Yeah, that is some rather depressing news.
Even so, if only for a moment, it's great to see that your team is still winning. If I had to accept defeat from anyone, I'm glad it was the champions that continued winning after my defeat.
Wow, I never thought I'd say this, but thanks, Anti-Spur. That means a lot coming from you.
Don't thank me just yet. If you thought my forces were bad that day, you've got a long way before your team can fight the other lords of obliges.
Wait, just how many more of you are there?
There's the Lord of Fantasy, the Lord of Shadows, and the Lord of Dragons. With you being the mage hero, I'd avoid fighting the Lord of Dragons at all costs.
And why is that?
I wish I had more time to talk about it, but I'm afraid I've reached my limit. Goodbye and good luck, mage hero. Your team is definitely going to need a lot of it.
Okay, that was beyond creepy. And so with Anti-Spur's lingering words from beyond the grave, the team couldn't help but noticing what was he talking about when he came to, on the terminology, when he came to the three other lords beside him that were in Omegas. But that's besides the point. They had other pressing matters to attend to. They had to come to Cece's rescue no matter what. And it's a good time they showed up when they did. Observe.
Excuse me. What kind of terms are those?
You heard me. Join forces with me and become a brother/sister duo that eliminates targets from the shadows in the name of vengeance. The Avalon higher-ups have already branded you a thief. So, why stop there when you can be promoted to an assassin for the royal family? You already meet all the prerequisites. It'll just be a waste of your dark talents to settle for less.
No, I'm not even a real thief. Taking what rightfully belongs to your family is not stealing. If I don't like stealing, what makes you honestly believe that I'd enjoy killing people like you do?
I'm just saying that with you around, things won't be so dull in this place. Just think, we'd be able to enjoy playing with our new toys as siblings. Isn't that wonderful? If you continue rejecting my offer, you'll leave me no choice but to break a few parts off of you until you say yes.
You're insane. There's no way I'm joining you now.
We're here, Cece. Did this creepy clown make you feel uncomfortable in any way while we were gone?
Ever the knight in shining armor, mage hero. You're right on time. It would seem as if your association has somehow influenced my dear sister. I'm impressed. I'd like to see if your team is the real deal. The only way you all can pass to the next floor is if we finish this here and now. I've always wanted to break heroes. This'll be fun.
Yeah, Cece, sweetheart, I don't see how you managed to withstand a simple conversation with this guy. But nevertheless, we accept your challenge. Let's finish this. Yeah, Cece definitely made the right choice, rejecting the creepy clown kid's offer. Just like that old saying, you go dancing with the devil, you don't change the devil, he changes you. So, if anything, Cece was just going to be led down a path of irredeemable corruption if she followed after this guy's footsteps. But that's besides the point. This guy was coming at us like a lethal, creepy ninja assassin and an exceptionally paid killer hired by the royal family. That's how you know he was on a different tier compared to the other Vanguard that used projectile weapons. So we had to be on full alert. Previously on Untitled Betting Season 2, the floor boss, codenamed Psy, also known as the Creepy Clown Kid, officially challenged us to an official duel where he fought like a ninja samurai for the royal family of Avalon. He was what you would call the Vanguard from behind the scenes of the darkness and the shadows, and he had definitely the stealth and ninja art skills to prove it. However, his most sinister ability came in his jarring ability to summon illusions of clowns with his otherworldly screech. Yeah, these apparitions came and surrounded us, and they were very elusive and hard to get rid of. But that wasn't even the strangest part. They coalesced together and formed into this humanoid creature, or should I say creatures. And then, how can I explain it? They turned into like a circus of clowns, illusionary clowns, just like him. They looked just like him, and it was just kind of unexpected. They did these little obnoxious things, and they just very distracting. And it's just like, wow. But all that was thrown out the window when them things started to play rough with their tools and stuff. So then, while we were being distracted with those creepy clowns, Codename Psy tried to fill the entire floor with dark energy, consuming like everything in its path until Fidelia and Codename Lambda caught onto it and worked together and obliterated the darkness using their combined light attack, which curated all of the darkness in the floor. Okay, that clearly was a direct hit. Did you hit him?
Well, judging by the amount of smoke and debris, my sensors don't show any signs of me missing my target. Wait, that's him over there.
Well done, my toys. You've successfully defeated me. I knew this would be the exit route I needed to escape my fate.
Escape route? Escaping your fate? You're not making any sense, clown kid. I don't get it. As fast as you are, you could have easily dodged that last beam. What's going on?
My freedom from this torture, this dark matter is no joke. That's saying a lot, coming from a clown.
Dark matter? Lambda's sweetheart, what is this guy talking about?
Give me a moment to examine.
You saw the dark matter for yourself, didn't you, Lambda? What it's doing to my system, as we speak.
It's quite an unfortunate set of circumstances. I'm terribly sorry.
Sorry, Lambda, what do you have to be sorry about?
It's your brother, LC. The dark matter from Simon's microchip has completely infected his mecha core. It was only a matter of time before he would have been corrupted into a being whose words, thoughts, deeds and actions would have been nothing but pure, consistent evil. He decided to end this before things got really bad for his system.
No, Simon, why must you torment me from even beyond the grave? This is just downright unfair.
Please don't cry, sis. There's no point in holding a grudge against a man who's long gone. I walked this path of vengeance, so you wouldn't have to. If you ask me, this is my just reward, all things considered. After I carried out my vengeance against Simon, the only thing that was left for me to do was to meet you for myself, Cecilia. It was an honor.
No, things just can't end this way. They just can't. I planned to return you to our family, so you could get acquainted with them. Now, what can I tell them?
Cecilia, when I scanned your memories, I saw all the unspoken words, apologies and regrets for your actions that you've yet to tell your father, sister and the rest of your family. You should make amends with them. If you can't do it for yourself, consider doing it for your brother who went astray and has accepted the consequences of his actions.
LC, I didn't want this to happen. This was supposed to be different.
No, Cecilia. This is how it's supposed to be. I hereby declare your team the winners of this dungeon floor.
And just like that, codename Psy ceased functioning from before our very eyes. and the stage was unanimously cleared after that. But once again, it didn't really feel too much like a victory. It felt still once again like a loss, like a major loss, especially for Cece. She was putting on a brave face, but I know she was definitely troubled after that. And what his final request was when it came to Codename Side definitely did give her a lot of thought, so we left her be.
Meanwhile, within the Vanguard station, this happened.
I honestly don't know where to begin. To think so much corruption took place within the Vanguard. First Simon, then Beta, afterwards Psi, and now it returns to Simon again. Just what kind of weird cycle is circling within this place? It's insane. Is that Her Majesty calling the station now? Yes. Mistress Lionheart, is everything alright? What can I assist you with?
Codename Omicron, it's quite lovely to hear your voice. There's something I'd like for you to do, once Side finishes their dungeon stage.
Yes, Mistress. What is your request?
I'd like for you to grant our 7 players access to the resting area. Considering the trials they endured within the labyrinth, I say it's well earned. Don't you agree?
Yes, Your Highness. I agree wholeheartedly.
However, I'm only interested in admitting 4 of the players, the Blue Hero, Pink Fairy, as well as both Lady Violet and Scarlet. The other 3 will simply ride the bench.
So, you want me to simply restrict the other 3 players' access to your final chamber? Very well, I understand.
I know it's a rather odd request, but it's to prevent overcrowding.
Yes, Your Highness. It shall be done. However, are you aware of all the corruption that transpired within the Vanguard? I'd like to hear your opinion on this matter.
Fully aware, actually. I personally thought it was all entertainment. Surely you didn't think all this happened outside of my watchful eyes within Avalon. That little pest, Simon, got dispatched by his own hands, and I didn't do a thing for it to happen. Beta had potential, but she clearly couldn't handle her new powers or position correctly, so her demise was inevitable. As for Codename Psi, he was just a professional janitor, cleaning out the undesirables both within Avalon and the Vanguard. He was good, but easily replaceable. As for you, Omicron, your intelligence is what keeps making you useful to our organization. That's the only reason you survived the longest. That's what I like about you.
Your Highness, your compliment means so much coming from you. I feel honored. Very well. I shall fulfill the final stages of our plans.
Excellent. I'm looking forward.
And so, Omicron agreed with Mistress Lionheart to fulfill the final stages of this insidious plan that I'm not too eager to find out what it actually is. But nevertheless, he had his orders to do. And we were sent, after traveling through that final floor boss stage, that previous floor boss stage, we were sent wondering what the next floor hold. We were hoping that we wouldn't be having to fight the boss just yet, but we already knew it was going to be something like some kind of intermission, some type of interim. So then we just braced ourselves and hopefully see it wasn't any more fighting. But actually, we were kind of surprised what the next war held, so yeah. Last I checked, I thought Codename Psi was supposed to have been the penultimate boss before facing the Queen. If that's true, then what's this place supposed to be?
After a quick glance of this floor, I believe this is a resting point, right before the players face against the final boss of this labyrinth. You could say this is our final stop to rest up, heal, and stock up on supplies before we proceed any further.
As nice and relaxing as this place is, I can't help but wonder just how truly menacing the Queen will be. I'm not trying to sound pessimistic or anything, but it's best not to rule out the possibility.
No, we can't overlook that. However, we didn't come this far, defeating Vanguard members one after another just to get cold feet before facing the Queen. If anything, you should be fuming with adrenaline and ready to end this corruption for good.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right, sweetheart. That's exactly why we're here.
Ah, I knew I heard a pair of familiar voices here somewhere. I must say, Your side definitely took your sweet time getting here. It looks like your team clearly went through the ringer. Those floor bosses must have been quite the challenge.
Lady Scarlet, you certainly don't know half of it. I'm just glad both the rest of your team and Violet are doing well. And on the subject of Violet, where's the rest of your group anyway?
Fret not. She along with the others are dining nearby at the robot diner. Player's first meal is free.
Wait, what? Robot diner? Players eat free? I'm definitely on my way over there.
Great. You go ahead and eat till your heart's content, while I bring Lady Scarlet up to speed on what's going on.
Now this be a part where a lot of us ask questions, but if we asked them the questions, they'd be like this: shh, it's science. Hey, as long as there's a free meal concerning this after all the fighting we did, I'm not really complaining. So yeah, no complaints here. Wow, Lady Scarlet was actually right. There really is a conveniently placed diner located on this floor. Still, it leaves very little to the imagination as to who or what is actually operating this place.
Ah, your team has finally made it. We've been expecting you. Side A. Please, let me take your order. The first meal is absolutely free for you players.
Well, don't mind if I do. Now, let's see what we got here. Aha! I have the number 5 with a side of fries and a medium soda.
Excellent choice. Will that be all for you, sir?
That'll be all, sport. Can't wait to see how great your work tastes.
Why, thank you. Your food will be ready shortly. It'll only be a few minutes wait.
Awesome. Fidelia, sweetheart, grab yourself a bite to eat and stop looking so stoic. I know things are a bit crazy around here, but we need our strength. After all the fighting we did in this labyrinth, I'm surprised that we didn't come across this place sooner.
I know that. However, I'm actually still recovering from all the madness of the previous floor. It's not just that tragic falling out between codenamed Psy and Cecilia. It's also that cryptic message from Esteban from beyond the grave. The Lord of the Undead was a very powerful threat back then. Now, we've received word of 3 other lords just as, or if not, stronger than he is. Very troubling news, if I say so myself.
Yeah, I was a bit taken aback myself. I don't think that's news anyone's ready to hear. Even so, that's an overload to focus on that as well as this current mission at hand. We're beings that can only do one major mission at a time, so there's no need to stress ourselves out unnecessarily. Besides, even if everything he said was true, what does it have to do with the mission of rescuing Aria right now?
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, don't worry about that stuff, at least not for now. Well, that must be my order. You know, Fidelia, if you have a full stomach, you wouldn't be thinking about things that you have no control over. So just grab a plate already. We'll wait.
Well, if you say so.
After that was said, both sides unanimously grouped up and rejoined, each telling their story and what really took place on their sides. It was a lot of things and information we need to go share and discuss. Wow, I'm talking about looking back, it was a lot of things. From not just fighting robots, but also fighting powerful legendary swordsman samurai that are just as strong as the princess. And creepy killer clowns with a vendetta and vengeance against other members of the Vanguard. And the overall process of going through a grueling roguelike dungeon with items and stuff that just completely unavailable, and we just had to grind each floor with the amount of HP that we have now. It was quite the grueling challenge, don't get us wrong. But even so, despite all that, we had a fire inside of us, a zeal to see if we work together, even the final boss would be no match for our combined strength. Now that's what I call classic teamwork. Previously on Untitled Ambition Season 2, both Side A and Side B have successfully cleared their dungeon floors and now at the penultimate stage to rest up and gather all a few things and equipment before they finally face off against the most powerful final boss of this labyrinth, the Queen herself. Yes, there were a lot of stage clears in this labyrinth, and we wondered if we'd ever find the end. Meanwhile, the Princess Aria herself has become a prisoner in her own mind as thoughts of betrayal plague it. Observe.
Deep within the deepest, darkest quarters of Aria's subconscious, this happened.
This doesn't make any sense. Where am I? How's this even happening? Ever since the transfer, all I've seen here is nothing but darkness. I don't even know what's happened to my physical body. This is just too much. Brother, it's you. I don't understand. Why didn't you say anything to me about murdering Quake? I thought we were family. You're not saying anything. I need a response from you now. Why would you go so far as to do something so heinous? Are you really the criminal this world made you out to be?
Honestly, your innocence is absolutely adorable. That's the main reason we kept you around for so long. Tell me, Aria. Did you really think that we'd do everything in our power to protect you with absolutely no benefit to us in any way?
Wait, what?
Our goal was to keep you in the dark and return to Avalon as our ace in the hole. Thanks to your naivety, we would have had so much influence not just over Avalon, but the entire United Regions as a whole. The two of us would have been calling the shots while you danced for us like a puppet on strings. We were going to have it made.
I can't believe that you both would do something so insidious. Was that the plan from the beginning?
Well, not exactly. The plan was to remove Quake from the scene entirely and for Glyph to become the next King of Avalon. However, with the unexpected revelation of your existence, we decided to shift to Plan B and manipulate you for our own, selfish ambitions.
You savage, beastly monsters. I can't believe I ever thought we were friends or family. Mother was right. Humanity is so grotesque, so abominable. It's so evil. I'm beyond done with this. I'm done with Cliff. Most importantly, I'm done with you, Scarlet. You'll pay dearly for your betrayal.
These were the constant, dark thoughts being downloaded into Aria's subconscious as the Queen took control of the former's body.
Yes, the dark thoughts continue to plague her mind as she was pondering the fact of being used as a mere puppet for the two closest people that she has now to just manipulate her for their own selfish benefit. And meanwhile, this is all happening while the Queen is busy grand thefting her body and putting Aria's consciousness in prison. There's no sense behind that. But something else that didn't make any sense was the brand new rules that codename Omicron was about to lay on the remaining players. We were not prepared for this. It came out of blue just like a lot of this stuff.
As both sides finish resting up at the diner, this happens.
Whoa, thank goodness we were able to change. I wasn't sure how long I could last with those tights on any longer. So, is that the reason why you didn't mind Iota changing your clothes before the duel? From the looks of things, you seem pretty confident, all things considered.
Stop. I needed to get into comfortable clothes before any high-speed battle. It was the ideal choice given the situation. Besides, the mech suits definitely served their purpose on the earlier floors within the labyrinth. But as for when our side fought codename Beta, yeah. Not so much.
Now that you mention it, we definitely needed the mech suits on the previous floor when both Landa and Fidelia charged their light powers to finish off the codename Psi, so I guess the suits kinda did come in clutch. But if what Iota said was true about this final boss sitting directly underneath this floor, it makes me wonder what kind of power the Queen has in her possession.
Who knows? It could even make all the other bosses prior to this one look like child's play in comparison.
Well, I hope we grabbed enough HP and SP potions, stat boosters, gear, and equipment to survive this battle. Final bosses are usually the most challenging fights of a game. At least that's what an entire childhood of gaming has taught me.
Of course. We've made it this far. We're as ready as we'll ever be.
Look, someone's appearing on the monitor.
Greetings, lovely players. This is codename Omicron coming live to congratulate your team on your resounding success in clearing the labyrinth. You all should be proud. You needn't worry. I'm not here to become your opponent. I'm a completely neutral party in this challenge. However, I'm here to convey an important message to your team. Due to a last-minute change in plans, only 4 of you will be able to challenge the final boss on the next floor below.
Wait, what? The raw nerve of that guy, who just up and decides to make a drastic last-minute change like that?
Yeah, that's pretty messed up.
I see. So, the time has officially come. I guess there's no way around this.
Here are the names of the 4 players who've been invited to proceed to the next floor. The mage hero of Esteban, Sun Maiden, Eclipse Maiden. And last but certainly not least, the Black Rose of the Underworld, Lady Scarlet. If your names were not called, it's not personal. The Queen just simply doesn't prioritize your presence important enough to challenge her. Once you 4 have made your final preparations, there's a nearby portal waiting to escort you all below. So in the meantime, ciao.
I swear, if it isn't one thing, it's another with these Avalon Vanguard members. I mean, like, seriously. This is like one of the rare indications where I actually felt like shooting the messenger. But I digress. We followed the rules, got our remaining stuff, our remaining 4 players, and went to the next floor. And yeah, it was definitely something, a sight to behold. Well, this is quite the exotic location for a final boss fight to happen. It looks straight out of a mythical scene from a fairy tale. How can we find Princess Aria in a place like this?
I agree. This place looks like it came directly from a space fantasy movie. However, there's something a bit more daunting. Take a look over there.
Okay. I see a pair of steps over there with an empty socket on the top pedestal. Why?
Quake's legendary relic, Excalibur, has been removed from that pedestal. Only the next successor can wield it. If that's the case, then we're already too late to save Aria.
Too late? Why is that exactly?
My dear Scarlet, don't tell me that you even kept your new comrades in the dark. Such a callous woman, you are. I must say, Lady Scarlet, your forces have certainly taken your sweet time getting here. I almost thought you 4 would never have shown up. But, you know the age-old saying? Better late than never.
No. That sword strapped to your side. That's Excalibur. So, it's true. You've already made the switch.
What do you think? Do you like my little upgrade? Who knew being the successor to an ancient relic would come with so many unique benefits? It's like I can finally start my life over. This time, with a brand new clean slate. Amazing, isn't it?
Wait. Judging from your scent, you're not Lady Aria, are you?
Precisely. I'm Queen Lionheart, now in complete control over Aria's body. Be amazed by my splendor.
That's nothing to boast about. As my would have been mother-in-law, that's beyond wrong on so many levels. You've stripped my would have been sister-in-law from having a life of her own to make yourself feel better, thanks to your past mistakes. If that doesn't define selfishness, I don't know what else does.
How dare you? You know absolutely nothing about me. I was the faithful one in our marriage, until that Jezebel entered our lives and ruined everything. I wouldn't expect a reclusive, orphan girl like you to understand what it's like to give your all in a marriage, only for your husband to constantly compare you to his illicit mistress. Then find out later on down the line that your husband had a secret love child with said mistress, putting the little bastard in line to inherit the throne. So, I did what I believed was necessary. So if there was even the slightest chance of me to start my life over and try again using Aria as a placeholder, I'd take the first chance I get. This is that chance.
Yeah, I'm gonna be completely honest. That's an interesting state of affairs to deal with. I mean, your actions were more than justifiable, but they weren't right though. I mean, don't you feel just slightly bad for doing this to your artificially created daughter? I mean, all she ever wanted was to please you.
Oh, she's done just that. She was created for this purpose as a fail-safe, if anything happened to Quake. Her Lionheart crest is the main reason I have access to this power to be reborn. But, I didn't invite you here to talk about ethics, Mage Hero. I have a one-of-a-kind offer that I'd encourage you to consider. Would you care to hear about it?
Okay. Alright, I kinda zoned out when she was trying to paint her offer as some kind of sweet kid friendly little deal going on by making me the next commander-in-chief of the Vanguard, promising a life filled with power, influence, and connections beyond my wildest dreams. I mean, there isn't too many places that you can go in the United Regions and people shrug their shoulders with you being the commander. However, her true motives were much more subtle. She was doing everything in her power to, bend me to her will with promises of, a life full of pleasure coming from her, even if it came down to it. Not saying that she couldn't pull it off. I mean, she was a very, very, very attractive entity. I mean, just like seriously. And she had a lot of power and resources at her beck and call. And I was positioned in line to receive that power. But there is a powerful thing we had to reconsider. That's right. It is a powerful word called betrayal. I was going to sacrifice all that in exchange for the true loyalty I received back during my time when I had nothing. During my highs and my lows, the one that was with me through it all, and that was Fidelia. For me to turn my back on that for something like this was completely inconceivable, so I knew I had to cut her off right then and there. Yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off, sweetheart. You're painting me a pretty picture, no doubt, with the promise of exceptional power and influence within Avalon. But you can't discuss that without discussing ethical matters. You're telling me about all my benefits, but what about my partner, Fidelia? Where does she fit in all this?
What's so special about her? I can definitely provide you with a more fulfilling life than you just being a mere guild leader in a desert country. I'd see to it that you're taken care of. Even if I personally have to do it myself.
Whoa, sweetheart, you do know my partner is right here watching you say all that, don't you?
And what of it? Fairies are ranked below we of Crusader lineage. It's like a mere butterfly trying to challenge your lioness.
She's more off the rails than we thought.
That right there is what I'm talking about. Do you really expect me to work with someone with that kind of mindset? If you see my partner here as a mere insect and yourself as a lioness, I can only imagine how you view the less fortunate. It's a rhetorical question, don't answer that, but I am quite curious. As rich as you are, do you even give to the poor?
Of course. I give all the time during major charity events. I'm known to be quite generous to the common folk.
Oh really? Do you give even when the cameras aren't clicking, film isn't rolling, or when the social media influencers aren't streaming?
Whoa, he actually went there.
That right there is the last and final strike against your offer. I can't work under someone so superficial. While you were born and raised in your pristine ivory tower, there were those of us who were in that dirty, got out of that dirty, made sure to keep those we helped from getting into that dirty. Fidelia was with me through it all. If you think I'm going to trade true loyalty like that for superficiality like this, you're gravely mistaken.
You. How dare you? You have no idea the grave mistake you're making by declining my offer. Perhaps if you see a glimpse of my power, you'd more than likely rethink your defiance.
My goodness. It appears we've made her angry.
And so Mistress Lionheart was through with negotiations and decided to unleash her godlike powers against the 4 players.
And then before we knew it, lightning bolts flashed everywhere as Mistress Lionheart unleashed her prism of light upon each and every one of us. It was crazy.